welcome to Correro, a platform for a big conversation. Well, my name is Godwin Sunday. Today we'll turn our spotlight on elections and governance across the country. Please stay with us as the conversation begins immediately after this break. Please go nowhere. And you're welcome back. Well, today the spotlight again is beamed to election matters and also issue that borders on governance. Two issues at the very heart of Nigerians' democratic journey. From the lessons of recent off-cycle elections to political realignments already taking shape ahead of the 2027 elections. Well, questions about electoral credibility, voters' confidence, political participation, and good governance remain a critical questions even on the lips of a lot of Nigerians right now. But beyond these questions, the pertinent question is who wins or lose at the polls? Nigerians are asking, what does democracy deliver after the votes are counted? How prepared are our institutions for the next electoral cycle? And political parties, are they actually strengthening Nigerians' democracy, or are internal crises and political calculations weakening it? Well, these are questions that are begging for answer. But most importantly, how can election translate into responsive, accountable, and effective governance? These are the issues we will be unpacking today on State of the Nation, Spotlight on Elections and Governance. I'm being joined in the studio right now with the person of Comrade ZD Womat, a PDP chieftain and also a public affairs analyst who will be helping us put all of these issues in perspective. But first, good evening and welcome to Correro.
Thank you for having me.
Womat.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's always a delight having you on the show to talk about Nigeria and its politics.
Yes.
But let's even begin tonight with the People's Democratic Party.
Okay.
With the national leader of the People's Democratic Party, the person of Nyesom Wike, has openly come out sometime few days ago to declare his full support for the candidature of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has Sandy Ono as its presidential candidate. Where does this leave the People's Democratic Party as it stands today?
Well, once again, let me say thank you for having me. Yes, that is a difficult situation or position we have now as a party. It's something that it is not easy to handle because the FCT minister has sort of pledged his allegiance to the president and say he's going to work for the president. Meanwhile, we have a presidential candidate, and that has brought some people agree with him, some people disagree with him, but he has taken his position and has even gone further to say he's going to campaign for the president. So that has led to some people deciding to support other candidates, and some still decide to remain with the party, flag bearer, Senator Sondon. So that is the situation we are, and it's not an easy one. And I also heard the FCT minister saying that is working towards a national rainbow coalition for the president. So it's a situation whereby we are trying to see how to understand it, considering the fact that we have a presidential candidate from the party, but we also know the truth that our presidential candidate does not have the weight to go for this presidential election because we have faced internal wrangling or interest wrangling that has affected the party, popularity or strength, not popularity, we are still popular, but strength at the national level. So maybe one of the reasons why the FCT minister is insisting that he's going to work for the president, beside he's already working for the president as the FCT minister, and he's doing well in the FCT in terms of development.
So invariably, are you saying that Sandy Ono you're a PDP chieftain,
Yes.
and you command a lot of respect even within the People's Democratic Party. Are you saying at this point that Sunday Ono presidential candidature or candidacy is a disaster waiting to happen come 2027 election?
Yeah, the disaster has already happened because what I'm
So
saying
Sunday Ono is a disaster.
no, not himself. I said the disaster has already happened because the crisis that engulfed the party before this time is the disaster. Now, this is the consequences of the disaster. PDP would have been the party that everybody would have looked up to at the presidential election. But with what has happened that has weakened the party and make the party look disunited at the national has affected it. So, to be frank, we don't have a strong candidate to say we are presenting for the presidential election like the person of Sunday Ono. No, we don't have that united, how will I put it, front to say we are taking Sunday Ono to the field and he's going to win. And with the quagmire we are, with the FCT minister supporting the sitting president of APC extraction. So that is to tell you that Sunday Ono's candidacy will not go far. That is the simple truth.
Well, you spoke about the Rainbow Coalition,
Yes.
which your national leader, that's speaking of person of Barrister Nyesom Wike,
Yes.
has been championing
Yes.
so far. And he has promised some few days ago to expand his tentacles away from Rivers State to make it a national Rainbow Coalition. And of course, he has also said that the likes of Adeleke has been adopted into the Rainbow Coalition, and whoever believes in Tinubu's vision and Tinubu's presidential ambition will be captured into the Rainbow Coalition. Looking at all of this and looking at what played out even in Osun State, where just few days to the election, the gubernatorial candidate stepped down for Adeleke. All of this playing out. Are we going to see the People's Democratic Party come 2027 presidential candidates stepping down for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is there going to be a replay of this within your party structure?
I don't think so. I'm not him, but I don't think so. But one thing I know for sure is that there might be no rigorous campaign to, as in PDP, trying to work towards unseating the president. And you've just said it, that the FCT minister is looking at how to come up with expand his tentacle of the Rainbow Coalition, which he's doing, and he has co-opted, as he said, the Osun State governor-elect to be part of it. So that is it. And I believe one thing that must have, made him to sustain this temple of wanting to support the sitting president is because of the attitude of the ADC presidential candidate that refused to respect the gentleman agreement for the South to complete their 8 years before it goes back to the North. So in order not to give chances or take chances and the ADC candidate emerged, he decided to continue his support for the sitting president, I think so. Because you like it or not, there is a gentleman understanding between the North and the South for the purposes of unity. And if you look at the Constitution emphasized that. If you look at section 15, you look at section 14 or so, you see there it's talking about unity, ensuring that there is a united Nigeria, no single entity or ethnic group dominate. And whenever it is the turn of the South, I don't know, for reason based not to the former vice president, he will contest and even want to conspire against. Now let me tell you, in 1993, he contested for the president against a Southerner. When the political class in the country have looked at it and said, let's also allow the South to go, he contested with Abiola and almost unseat Abiola by conspiring with Kinkibe, because he got 2,000 something vote, Kinkibe got 3,000 something vote, Abiola got 3,600 vote or so. But if both of them vote merge, definitely they'll beat Abiola. It was the elder brother of the late president, Musa Yaradua, Sheikh Musa Yaradua, that said, no, don't do that. I will nominate you as VP. And he did his best to nominate him to Abiola. But the SDP governors then, almost all of them rejected the former vice president. Best known to them. So it did that in 2011, 2010, 2011. He contested against Jonathan. In 2018, he contested. Nobody, they've assumed that it's the turn of the North. So no Southerner really bothered them. Serious Southerner contested. Then in 2023, that it is assumed that it should be a Southern turn. He contested against, what is it called? Against the FCT minister. And applied that strategy he could not use in 1993 to defeat late MK Abiola. He now used that strategy. And that's the strategy used to unseat. If not, the FCT minister has almost won the election. Because as a member of the electoral committee, I was there on the ground. But he now used that strategy. That was how I was able to emerge. And now in 2026, he came again, contested against the former FCT minister, former transport minister, Rotimi Amechi. And Rotimi Amechi even took him to court and said the process that brought him on board is a flawed process. It's a corrupt process to the extent that it took him to court. It was until he was nominated as vice presidential candidate that he withdrew the case. Even one of your sister platform went as far as saying that the former vice president is unelectable. So these are the issues, and nobody wants to allow that to happen. It is the turn of the South, and let it be so. And that's why a lot of people on that grounds are against the candidacy of the ADC presidential candidate.
Well, Comrade Dabo Kiabo Womat.
Yes.
The People's Democratic Party is supposed to be a leading opposition political party as it stands right now in the country. On the lips of a lot of Nigerians on the state of the nation is that the cost of food items is skyrocketing. Healthcare is going down the drain. We are seeing a lot of issues around the educational system spread across the 6 geopolitical zones. As a matter of contingency, a lot of Nigerians are tweeting right now, even on their various pages on social media, saying that the roads as a matter of national emergency, that the government should take out the issue around roadworthiness, because in the southern part of Nigerians, the roads are not worthy. So when the roads are not worthy, we should be talking about roadworthiness as a criteria to even apply the route. Now, People's Democratic Party have been silent when it has to do with issues that borders on national development as a leading opposition party. Can we say at this point that the People's Democratic Party's silence on a national issue is a deliberate action or an act of wickedness to the people of Nigeria?
Well, the truth remains that the leader of the party is in alignment with the president. So ordinarily, you would expect the party to criticize the government, just like you said, bring out the flaws of the government, just the way they did in 2015 to the PDP. But, the party, being that the leader is, working with the president, the party leadership, I believe, I'm a member of the National Working Committee, but I believe that they are being careful not to criticize. So
PDP right now is a toothless bulldog.
Well, if you put it that way.
So, you are a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. So we say that the PDP right now is a toothless bulldog.
That's what I said.
It has to do with national issue.
That's what I said. So
if the national leader does not speak, there is no member of the People's Democratic Party that can speak to issue that borders on national development.
No, there are individuals that party leaders that speak.
Well, the last time we checked, you can do your research, because the last research I conducted, the PDP has become another. It has been relegated to the back door of inconsequential when it has to do with nationhood and national development. Can we say that the People's Democratic Party is being wicked to the people of Nigeria, or it's not living up to its responsibility as an opposition political party?
Well, if you say it's not living up to its expectation, well, looking it from one angle, I'll say, yes, you're right. Because as an opposition party, what is expected of you is to criticize the government. Look at the flaws, look at the yearnings of the people, throw it to the face of the government, that the people are crying for this and you are not doing anything about it, something like that. But the PDP has not been doing that. Just like you have rightly said, has not been doing that, and I've given you the reasons. That is the quagmire we find ourselves today. So that's why you don't see, as a party, we don't come out to speak against it. Not that everybody likes that fact, but you are under authority. You have a leader, and the people that can officially speak about it in the name of the party are under that leader.
Or does it imply that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been performing magnificently well, even going by all the metrics?
No. I will not. I'll be unfair and be wicked to Nigerians to say that he is performing magnificently well. That is the simple truth. Only look at the insecurity and the hardship in the land. I cannot come up to tell you that. You see, no matter what the people confess, and I go to the market, we all go to the same market, and we see what is happening in the market. So it will be unfair on my part to say that he has performed magnificently well. Maybe he's doing one or two areas, he's doing well, but we have not even seen the manifestation as, affecting the lives of Nigerians. So that is just the truth.
Well, I'm curious because the way your party has been silent about this issue, it's as if the People's Democratic Party has not been affected. But then we've seen a lot of gubernatorial candidates springing forth in various states across the country. When a People's Democratic Party is not speaking up on the issue that borders on national development. Your national leader is talking about the issue around Rainbow Coalition. And the People's Democratic Party has not lived up to its responsibility as an opposition, as a strong opposition group right now.
Well,
is the People's Democratic Party supposed to be on the ballot come 2027? Are they fit to be on the ballot if they are not living up to the responsibility?
Well, every political party is fit to be on the ballot.
Even though the People's Democratic Party is not living up to its responsibility?
No, we are not living up to our responsibility at the national level. That I will not dispute. But coming to the subnational, we are living up to the expectations of the people in the various subnational, because I can see some of, moreover, like I can give you like in Imo State, I can talk about Imo State very well. They are putting the governor there on his toes. And Kwara, I can mention some states there that they are doing that.
And Delta State and a few of the South are dead on arrival.
Delta State.
But Delta State is almost dead on arrival.
No.
River State is almost dead on arrival.
No, Delta State is not dead on arrival because
Akwa Ibom State is dead on arrival. Cross River State is trying to find its feet, even the People's Democratic Party.
River State.
Yes, help us understand all of this.
No, like I told you, in the subnational, we have states whereby we are still doing very well, and we have states we are not doing very well. And we have states by virtue of the coalition, Rainbow Coalition, there is understanding that, maybe the best candidate has been picked. That one is there. But the thing is that the national leader said that this 20th election, moreover for the national, we know the truth that we cannot go out to win election. We are just participating. Not going out to, not participate to win, but participate to let it be the PDP contest. But at the state level, we have several people, moreover in the National Assembly elections, in the State Assembly election, in the governorship, we are seeing their activities. They are, shaking the tables in their various states. Go to Kanu, I forgot Kanu to mention, Nasarawa here, and you see them performing and putting the list on their toes. Yes, we have our flaws as a result of the crisis we faced, and as a result of the crisis we've not been able to comprehensively coordinate ourselves to become the formidable PDP and the opposition that Nigeria used to know. That aside, at the state level, we are doing our best to see how we can rebuild the party and come back as a strong party. And the national leader said that in 2031, most likely PDP will unseat the ruling party, because by then they must have gone through the process of rebuilding, and re-engineering the party. So that is the state we have. It's a difficult one. That is the simple truth. But one thing is certain. PDP will bounce back, but at the state level today, you can see that so many states, I do get report, I do see interaction on some platform, I do see the activities, and even on various news online platform, you see the activities of PDP candidates actively, dragging and putting the ruling party in their state to their toes.
Well, we have a situation where quite a lot of states, we've seen these a lot of politicians like yourself, we call it political jumpotology. We've seen the cross-carpeting from party A to party B, but largely we've seen people moving from the All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party. Is this an exercise in futility, moving from from All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party that is not nationally relevant as it stands today? People's Democratic Party that is not ready to speak to
I'll prefer to say
the state of the nation.
It's not presidentially effective.
In the right direction?
It's the right step in the right direction, but I would rather say that it's not presidentially ineffective. Let me put it out. But looking at the party, you see people are decamping to the to PDP from various in Kwara State. So an APC serving senator, I think, just moved to the PDP to contest the Senate against the governor that is serving out his second term.
I don't think that's a misplaced priority.
It's not a misplaced priority because
a party that does not speak to national issues.
The party does not speak.
A party that does not talk about the state of the nation. The party that does not try to criticize even at the national. Then
in that presidential, in that aspect,
to that party, it's not a misplaced priority.
It's not.
Nigerians are watching right now.
It's not because
moving to the People's Democratic Party is it not moving to
no.
a party that is trying to find its bearing?
No. We are not. As I said, at the presidential level, I don't dispute your position, but talking about House of Assembly, governorship, and National Assembly, you are seeing in different states how people are moving down to our party to make sure that they have the opportunity to serve the nation. But gradually, see, it is not everything you come up and just say. If you look at this candidate in their various states, they bring out they raise issues that affect the common man. They raise issues that impact. In fact, the president said, "Oh, your governors to this thing ransom. They are the ones that you should be holding to account for whatever thing, because I've given them. They've gotten a lot of money as a result of the removal of the subsidy. So he has moved the ball to the state. In as much as I'm not justifying that we ought to talk about the national issue, but at the state level too, we are doing the best we can, and that's why you see some people are moving to the party, not only in Kwara State and in several other states across the country are moving to the party. And beside that, the people at the last bus stop, wherever they say will come back, will come back. We saw what happened in Osun State. It's the people that checkmated the electoral body in Osun State, despite everything that happened. So the simple truth means that people moving to the PDP, yes, we have come up to develop some flaws, but that does not invalidate the fact that PDP is everywhere like MTN.
Well, your national leader has openly declared support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The first question is the disciplinary committee of your party working? And can this be likened to an inter-party activity even within the party? That's on one hand. On the other hand, looking at the People's Democratic Party as it stands today, and the various, if the People's Democratic Party is fortunate to win any election, let's take it to the national, perhaps the People's Democratic Party by chance wins the presidency. Would the party reject the presidency because the national leader has pledged his support for President
Definitely not. Definitely the party will not reject it. The party will accept it because it's something that you have won. So you just have to accept it. You cannot reject it. That is the truth. And I've said when you talk about the national leader, I don't want to lay emphasis much on that. It has put a lot of us in a tight corner. That is the simple truth. A lot of us are in a tight corner. And the NWC are the ones responsible for any disciplinary action. So it's something left for them to decide.
So your NWC right now is afraid?
I can't. I won't
Or,
say that.
they become another toothless bulldog, or because it's the FCT minister and
no, but
they cannot approach him to talk to.
He's the national leader of the party, so maybe they are using.
It cannot be confronted.
They are looking for, maybe they know what they are doing, but a lot of people are not comfortable with it. That is the simple truth.
But they are afraid to approach him.
Maybe they have approached him,
and they are afraid to call a spade a spade.
No, maybe they have approached him. But the thing is that
party has been brought to his knee.
No, the thing is that
it's begging right now to rise.
I've told you that most, like I can give you like Chief Dan Olasi, from a former PDP chairman in Anambra State, because of this issue, he said, okay, if that is the case, I will not support the president. I will support P2B. He's supporting P2B. That is the consequences of the action of the national leader. And some people cannot talk, so they just remain quiet because the national leader has followed this direction for reason best known to him, and only one I know, and I've mentioned it to you. So that is just it, and not that everybody in the party are happy with that decision. No. If I say everybody is happy with it, then I'm not saying the truth. But in as much as everybody is not happy with it, today is the national leader, and that's why you see that at the national, PDP seems to be, not living up to expectation, just like you rightly said, in terms of putting the government in its toes. That no, you must be put them on their toes and make sure that you criticize them to the point that they will know that yes, this is PDP. But we don't see that. But at the state level, we do see that very well, very well. So maybe. And he has said it that after the 2027 election, the party will be, properly ready to contest the 2031 presidential election down to the bottom. So we are hoping that it will be so.
Well, Comrade Babokiabo, a lot of members of the People's Democratic Party have said that the position of the national leader is strange to the People's Democratic Party because it is not enshrined in the party's constitution. But here we are. It has become like an adopted philosophy that right now shapes the party structure. You've been in the party, People's Democratic Party, for quite a while. I can say that since the party was formed, you've been there.
Yes.
How correct are members of the party that the role of a national leader is strange to the party?
No, there is no doubt about that. It's strange to the party. It's not in the spirit and character of the constitution of the party. There is no doubt about that. But as we are today now, it is because it is PDP. We have seen party coming to form coalition with even the ruling party before this time. We've seen party do that. You see some party will join the opposition, some will join the ruling party and form coalition to make sure that they win election. The difference in this case is that PDP is a national party. It's a party that has ruled this country for 16 good years and performed excellently well. So suddenly for it to come and form alliance or form a coalition that will not make the party have a strong presidential candidate and being in the party and supporting the ruling party candidate is what is making a lot of people not comfortable or uncomfortable. So that is just it. But the party as it is, as I said earlier, members of the party feeling that it's not in the character of the party constitution or whatever, yes, that is correct. It's not in the party, but it's the leader as we speak today. And it's left for the leadership to draw its attention to this, that, okay, even though some people suggest that even though you are supporting, don't make noise about it. But the different thing with the FCT minister is that he will support you openly if he is supporting you. We have seen cases whereby our former national chairman supported APC, late President Buhari, 2 days to the presidential election. Can you imagine that? A sitting national chairman flew out of the country. And PDP sitting governors came together and worked against the party in 2015. So, when we are doing things, there is nemesis. And the same reason, the FCT minister is working for President Tinubu, that they lay the foundation for this kind of, attitude, political, characterization. Because in 2015, people like Babangida Aliyu, the former vice president, They left the party. Why? Because they said it's the turn of the North. And even co-opted some Southerners to join them and worked against the party from top to bottom, that the party lost the general election in 2015. So now it has come back because of the seed that was sown. It has come back. Then we have constitution. Some of them, some left the party, good and fine, like the former vice president and others. Some were in the party and did that. So that is the danger when you sow the wrong seed. Today we are reaping it, because now I will tell you the truth. Instead of Atiku to come, I'll support the president. No, because it's gentleman agreement. It is the time of the North. That is what is keeping Nigeria together. Is there in the constitution?
Well, we'll come back to our articles, issues that borders around article. Yes. But then, the most recent conversation right now within Nigerian political space is the issue around that centers around the Osun State election. Yes. And you will agree with me that Adeleke won his first term under the People's Democratic Party's umbrella. But then we don't know what happened to the umbrella thereafter. Whether the umbrella got stolen, but then he moved to the Accord Party. Help us understand, what is the political atmosphere in the People's Democratic Party right now, knowing fully well that Adeleke won under the Accord Party? How did the People's Democratic Party accept these results so far?
No, the party accept is a welcome development, because Adeleke has won election in fact, they'll say it's the only governor that has won election 3 times. He won the first under PDP, but they snatched it, I think, through the courts. He came back and won this one. And now, this one under Accord. You see, that is why we say people participation. What happened in Osun State is what we call the people's power. People's power. I saw a video. I was with a son. We were in a meeting till like 1 a.m. and he showed me a video of a young man in Osun State stopping a military man, and they had to push the military man down and make sure that they seize his gun, because they told him point blank that you cannot go to the ballot box, close to the ballot box. This is the extent to which you can go. And the military man, because of the uniform he's wearing and the gun, immediately caught gun. And the guy told him that this gun, you cannot use it on me. You cannot. And to the military man's surprise, they are true. They found themselves on the ground and they disarmed them. Because they told them that if the people say no and act, if Nigerians will act like the Osun people, I'm telling you, Nigerian politicians will start going back home to make sure that they serve their people well.
So you're saying at this point that the People's Democratic Party did not feel any form of disappointed with the outcome of the election, knowing fully well that the People's Democratic candidate stepped down even in that election?
Yes.
Now, doesn't that even talk about the internal wrangling in the party, that your People's Democratic Party as it stands today cannot have a candidate, cannot field a candidate for elections in the country? No,
you see, the truth remains that we can field candidates, and we field candidates in various states.
But Osun State have exposed the lapses of the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
Showing clearly,
those lapses are there.
Showing clearly that the People's Democratic Party...
Those lapses are there.
You've talked about the River State, talking about the Rainbow Coalition.
Yes.
As it stands today, the Osun State have exposed the People's Democratic Party, that the party cannot comfortably submit a candidate and the candidate to win any election in the country. Don't you think so?
No, I don't think so. For whatever reason, I don't know why the candidate in Osun State, our Guba candidate, resigned or steps down. We saw that in FCT election too, step down. But one thing is certain is that the Osun election was welcomed by the party. The Osun election is something that gladdened the hearts of the people. Because you even heard Davido say they came to Osun State, pardon me, with almost 100-something billion. But despite that, because the people said, no, this is what we want. And it was what the people want that stood. Even when they decided, before you know, the IRF wasn't working again, there was glitch for about 2 hours, no light. The people said they surrounded the INEC this in office where they were collecting the result, and they saw that the people were serious, and INEC wanted to live their life. because they know they tamper with the result, they will not live their life. So they have to do what the people voted for. And that is it. So anybody else, even the ruling party, the governor-elect said it. The president was among the first persons to call him and congratulate him. Because the president himself the president has like 7 direct channels which he gets security report. He must have gotten security report that, see, your party cannot fly. The people are not with your party as far as this governorship is concerned. And that is it. So in fact, from what he said the president called him before the result was announced. So the president already knew that he has won. So it's a victory for the people. It's a victory for democracy. And if I'm commending anybody, I will only commend the people. I will only commend the people. Nobody else. Because some people are saying you commend the president. Commend the president, yes. But if you want to use federal might and say you want to, almost 50-something people, they say about 20-something or so people were already killed before the election. So if you want to use federal might, then you kill almost all the people. See, I told you how a young man disarmed 2 military and supported by other people, disarmed 2 military men because they refused to stay by they crossed the red line. You are not supposed to go to ballots because they are civilians. I took them for granted and they disgrace them.
Well, let's talk about governance in Nigeria today.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about progress in the country, a lot of Nigerians are quick to point fingers to before 2015, saying that the People's Democratic Party performed better than the All Progressive Congress as it stands today. Well, I don't know. Let's have a comparative analysis when it has to do with who has performed better in a scale of 12 years interval so far. Or let's use 10 years. Let's go by 10 years so far. Because we've heard your national leader often said that this government has performed astronomically well. But if we use the People's Democratic Party's 10 years in office and the All Progressive Congress 10 years in office and try to carry out a comparative analysis, what will your analysis be? Was the People's Democratic Party better, or they are just hiding behind the shadows?
The truth remains that you've said it in your introduction that Nigerians will refer to the PDP good old days. And that is the simple truth. Anybody can say anything. It's politics. But one truth we all know is that you cannot compare the, the APC regime to PDP regime. You cannot. You cannot. That's why you said that even till now, Nigerians are expecting a candidate from PDP that they can vote in. It's because of that. It's because of performance. Looking from all sectors. We are not talking about one spot. We are talking about the different sector of the economy. People can come, I point this, I did this, I did that. How does it translate to impacting the lives of the average man? That is the bottom line of governance. That is the bottom line. Look at how, okay, let's take security. When they were campaign, they said it's a military general, retired general, he will address the security issues. It became so worse that his own party members were criticizing him. But under PDP, Jonathan, during the end, close to the election, came with whatever medium he used, was able to flush this miscreant out of our territory. But today, see what we are suffering. To the point that some of us are saying Nigeria flag got to be on half-mast permanently. But we don't look at it. It has become a norm because we hear today how many people have been killed. See the one in Niger State. We just said about they keep people in mosques. Church is a normal now. They will just go and attack people. Look at the Oba wife of Yusuf, the kidnapping. So it's something that you cannot compare PDP time and APC time. You cannot. You cannot. And I will not come and say that. The only thing I can say, if the FCT is talking about his performance in FCT, excellently well. He has performed excellently well in development as regard FCT. But saying as a party, okay, let's assume, not considering that they have good policies. as we speak to today, have you felt the impact of that good policy?
So you're saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reforms and his reform agendas are not trickling down to the...
We've not felt it yet.
Well,
we've not felt it.
A lot of APC members will disagree with you.
No, it's expected. That's what I said. If I'm not talking as a politician, if I'm talking as someone that is an ardent supporter of the FCT minister, I will not say this. But, I know the truth. I have conscience. I'm not talking politics right now. I'm talking about national issues. Nobody can come up and say, looking at what is happening in Nigeria today, maybe they have privileged information, which I may not have. But looking at what we all are seeing, judging by what we all are seeing, you cannot say that. You'll be unfair to the resident and Nigerian citizen to make that statement. Look at what is happening now in the security sector. Today, look at the hunger.
Well, the president have often come out to say it gets dark before it gets bright. That people will have to go through pains before they get into that period of enjoyment.
You see, I'm just restraining myself not to say some things. Otherwise, looking at from Buhari, late Buhari, and all those that work with him to President Tinubu now, all the things they said against PDP is what they're implementing. Who sponsor people to protest in Lagos? You see, the truth remains that when you know the truth, there is the extent to which you can cover it. You know what is wrong in the country, except is people are not briefing it properly. Because, like it or not, there is hunger in the land. As I am, I know I used to pick unknown number. Now I don't pick it because of the pressure. I only numbers that are saved in my phone. So someone cannot come. PDP, I don't look at that. You pick because you know you can afford to assist. And look at fuel issue. Look at insecurity. Look at the economy. Which aspect? You cannot say it as making the people feel the impact of governance. You are referring, why do you take the money from the people to the governors? Why not leave it with the people? If you want to impact the life of the people, why not stop the blockade? Or those, you should be able to use the security apparatus to identify those, to identify those that are pilfering the resources of the country via, subsidy. Block the leakages and allow the people to breathe by giving them, the subsidy they need.
So you think that the subsidy removal is not the right step in the right direction?
To me, it wasn't. If at all you want to remove it, it was untimely.
But all presidential candidates campaigned based on subsidy removal.
Yes.
Peter Obi talked about subsidy removal. Atiku Abubakar at a time talked about subsidy removal.
It's inconsistent. My own subsidy removal, I'm not supporting him.
You think Atiku Abubakar is inconsistent?
He's desperate and, his statements are political. Because you are not consistent with your own statement. You were here, you said, hey, remove subsidy. Now you came, you said, no! I've been, all this while I'm not in support of subsidy. I have mentioned it on several platforms that go all the world. There is no country that they don't subsidize things for their citizens. Okay, which other way do you want to subsidize it? Two things that needs to be subsidized in the country. In fact, let me say 4 basic things. 1, fuel, because even people in the village use kerosene. 2, light. 3, health. 4, education. Those things should be subsidized. They do it in the US. They do it in other parts of the African country. So somebody come, if you are removing it, because the reason everybody has given, because for removing the subsidy is that it has become a channel where people cabal steal money. The place you are channeling the money you recover from subsidy, won't they steal it? Now the money that the president says is given to governors, and the governors bringing it out to impact the lives of the people. No. So it's same stealing that has led to you stopping the subsidy. Take it. Let them be stealing. Let us have our subsidy. Then we don't have subsidy and people will be stealing the money. That is the issue. That is the issue. So I'm not I'm not supporting Atiku. I want to make it clear because it's inconsistent. His statement is political just to win the mind of the people. No, but the simple truth is that subsidize this thing because you look at the people. Look at airfare now. aviation fuel. Look at kerosene.
But it's not just Atiku that have come out to say it. The likes of Sowore and a few political and presidential aspirants.
I'm not talking about that. Whoever told that part
to say
be consistent.
Well, the subsidy.
Because these people that are talking today, they were against it.
Well, the subsidy.
Now today they are the first to remove it without even a palliative.
The subsidy regime should be returned to the country.
It should.
You're saying at this point that Atiku's comments are politically motivated.
Very much politically motivated. Very inconsistent.
So if we look at what Atiku is saying right now and looking at the state Nigerian is right now, can we say that Atiku's statements are correct or politically correct?
It's not correct. I will not in any way support that statement.
Is it that you don't like Atiku?
I don't have issue with him. My issue with the former vice president is on principle. You know it's the turn of the South. Why are you contesting? You always want to work against a Southerner. You know that this thing is like this. What informed, you should tell us first, what informed is change of mind. You don't just come up and say, because the president has removed and you see it's creating hardship, you just come up and say, no, I'll bring it back. What is your plan to bring it back? Make sure that, what did you do with privatization? So, we should leave about it for we know it's politically, it's a political statement. But what I'm saying is that if, okay, let's assume the money that you want to get from subsidy, you want to channel it to health. Is it everybody that is sick? But we know that almost everybody uses either kerosene, fuel, diesel, or aviation fuel. They use it. So it will impact everybody. Even the plastic industry, they use waste product from there. It will impact. That is a good thing to subsidize. Even though you are subsidizing the health sector, it's when people are sick that they will go to the hospital. But this thing, people use it for transportation of goods. It would have reduced the cost of even food items, because transporting food item alone costs a lot. It will reduce a lot of things. So it's key to the average life of everybody. So I remain consistent, support the removal of subsidy. Find where and block the leakage. Find those people that are causing the leakage. You have all the authorities to stop it.
Well, recent statistics shows that Nigerians right now are more happy than they were 10 years ago. Do you agree with that statistics?
That statistic is not correct. Because the last one we had, they said Nigeria, I think 2014 or so, maybe 2013, Nigerians are the happiest people in the world. Compare then and now. Only you do the mathematics. What will make Nigerians be more happy now than then? Nothing.
So you believe that Nigerians are more sad right now than they were 10 years ago?
Definitely. Definitely true. Go to the street, you see it. Go to the street, you see how Nigerians are, talking. Except those that are feeding fat or living on scholarship from government office, you see a lot of people not happy. So nobody should come and tell you that, Nigerians are happy. I want to see the premise, the yardstick with which they arrive at that conclusion now.
Well, that premise and yardstick will definitely bring back even on this show. But then I've been saying that our time is fast spent right now. I want to say thank you so much, Comrade Dabo Kiabo Walmart, for finding out time to be with us here on Kurero.
Thank you for having me as always.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on the show. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments on our various social media handles currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV on free TV app and also keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye-bye.